another episode of Highly Respected, hosted by yours truly, Miss Streetz. And I have a special guest today. I'm going to let the guest introduce himself. What's up?
What's up, man? You got your boy Kewl here with you today. How you
Yes.
doing?
Hi, cool. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Miss Streets. How you doing?
I'm good. Now let's talk about your name first. So it's
Okay.
cool. So is it your real name? Where did the name come from?
Well, cool. I have a nickname named Callie, and my persona is just a cool guy. This kind of even-headed all the time. I like to be in like laid-back vibes and just kind of, in the cut. So a lot of people just say I'm too cool for school. That's how they, joke on me. So
Right.
I felt like cool was just a part of what I wanted to represent, and that's how it became part of my name.
Dope. So instead of you spelling it like Cool, you came up with Kewl. How did you come up with that spelling?
Believe it or not, I just Googled different ways to spell cool. I didn't like the way it looked at first, putting it in print. And I just wanted to be different. I wanted people to question, like, wait, how do you say that? Or what is that? And then some
Right.
people do know. So it's like the third way to spell it, but it's several different ways to spell cool. And I just thought this was a very unique one.
Right. Well, I didn't know. So when I came across your music, I was like, wow, I need to know how to pronounce his name, but I'm glad you told me. So it's cool. So you have a dope song out right now called Tapped In. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about the process of making a song and as well as the producer too.
Okay. This is produced by Beat Plug 2. He's from Miami, Florida, or Florida. I'm not going to say Miami, but he's from Florida. And I built a relationship with him where, a lot of times as an up and coming artist, it's really hard to get good production and work with a producer that wants to build a sound with you. I have a couple other producers like ZMD that I work with also that likes the craft, the art teacher, they like the craft. But Beat Plug sent me a dope beat package that was like an R&B kind of mix. Even though I'm a rapper, I like doing like R&B vibes and just kind of relaxed vibes. And it was like the fourth one on there. And when I heard it, it kind of was like an instant thing. And I recorded it, wrote the lyrics myself, and did like a pre-record. And everyone around me, I have some really hard critics, and they heard it and felt like that's the one. They felt like Tapped In was definitely something to put out to the public. And so far, so good.
That's cool. That's cool. So speaking of producers, what's your process like? Do you like listen into a beat first, or do you actually write the lyrics first and then you go to a producer and say, hey, this is what I got. Can you make this type of beat? How does that work for you?
I'm kind of like old school. So I still like to write. A lot of the newer generation, younger generation, they like to kind of just go off emotion and go off what they're feeling at that moment. Right. But I like to have a direction. So when you hear my song or you hear my verses, I'm going somewhere with it. It's a light story. It's talking about something that's prevalent. And you can just kind of follow along with it. It makes sense. So I won't be talking about, going swimming and then shopping at the store. And that's what you get sometimes when people freestyle. It's very random. So I like to write. I like to listen to the beat. I like to come back to it back and forth different days just to see if I feel that same way I felt initially. And once I kind of combine those emotions, I'll write out a complete song. And then I go to the studio and lay it down and see how it comes out. Right. And not all the time it comes out good, but most of the time it really does. And Tapped In is one of the times it did.
Right, that's dope. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you have a lot of hard critics around you. Who are those people, and then how important are they to you in your career?
Oh, wow. Believe it or not, I have maybe like a good top 5. One is Tamika. That's my wife. Another one would be a guy named Willie Joe. He's an A&R at Generation Now, and he also is a part of Good Game podcast a lot alongside with Royce. And, they are people that I ping. I have a new gentleman I'm working with named Mario. I send stuff through him as well. And, they kind of just filter through some of my work. I don't have like a complete sound. So I'll send them like different records and they'll kind of be like, that's not quite it. Or, hey, your lyrics are kind of whack. They'll be straight direct to the point. And, I sent them that record and I sent them that record amongst other records and they unanimously picked that record, each one of them. So that's how.
Do you feel like it's a hard process with them saying, hey, we don't like this record or we do like this, and then you might not like a record? Like, how does that work out? How do you come to the conclusion of saying this is the record?
That's tough. Tamika, she kind of like cutthroat. So it's going to be very fine line, or she doesn't. Joey, Royce, they like to do artist development kind of. So they might see something in the song and be like, hey, you need to focus on that, or hey, try to bring light to that one thing. Mario is kind of like a full picture kind of person. So I get different viewpoints, and then I just take all of those in with my own assumptions and conclusions, and I, do a little melting pot. I mix it all together.
Right.
You take a little bit of sauce from here, a little bit idea from there, you combine it and make it your own. So that's kind of like, what I get from each of them is something different. But they're very honest, and Joey and I work with other artists that are, pretty big artists. So to get insight with, from these individuals that work in entertainment, because all of them work in entertainment and they're at the top of their games, it means something. It's just not a guy off the street telling you to do something, or hey, think about this. So the input is very crucial in the process.
That's dope. Yeah. That's good that you even have that, you have people around you like that. A lot of artists don't have that. So that's a wonderful thing. Make sure you keep that, in your circle. So let's talk about your influences. I read a little something about people who influenced you, such as the late, great Jimi Hendrix. You had Jay-Z, yes. You had, what was it, Drake, yes. Snoop. So yes. How did those artists influence you?
Pivotal. I'm from California. I come from a time that Snoop Dogg was God. You know what I'm saying? He was, literally like a living guy. You know what I mean? Like Dre, or like Now the Game. Different Nipseys. And Snoop came into the game with like this just raw, I'm going to be me, take me as I am, no sugarcoating it, no trying to add extra to it. I think that's what the influence is from Snoop. The cool part is what I get from the first person you named, Jimi Hendrix. Right. I think he's one of the coolest people ever. I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos. I listened to his music, and it's just so like there. It's not forced. It's not trying to make it be something. It's just there. And that's what I instill in my music. To me, that's the coolest thing there is when you can do something effortless and be at the top of your game with it. Jay-Z, it's my favorite quote is to say, I'm a businessman. You know what I mean? He represents the business. So what I'm doing now is teamwork, building with people that want to be in my circle, that genuinely want to work with me, like my top 5, building the foundation brick by brick. That's the kind of things, I get from Jay-Z. It's just to make sure the business is tight and make sure that we're performing at the top level as I can. Right.
That's cool. So how would you describe your music? I did see something about you saying your music is like relaxation music. So how would you describe your sound?
I have a lot of different sounds, but the sounds I'm like kind of putting out is more, I like to call it vibey. I come from a place that is surrounded by water, kind of. Pasadena is a little bit more inland. Right. We are right outside of Los Angeles, which, Pomona Beach, and the beaches are right there. And we're very much like, sandals and shorts and, sit outside. And, it's just very chill. It's not, big on designer clothes and, trying to be jewelry every day and iced out. It's more about just enjoying the moment, the good air, the water. You know what I'm saying? If you like to indulge in 420, just having a good time and just embracing the moment, And
that's cool. So what motivates you to do music, to continue to do music? What's your motivation?
Motivation would be, it's just in me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. Even if it was not financially lucrative, I would still do it. You know what I mean? It's just something all my life. It releases energy in me that, I make music even when I'm not making music. Sometimes I ride in the car with no music and just, in my mind rapping and thinking of melodies, and it's just there. I can't fight it, and don't fight something that's naturally trying to come out of you.
Right. So are you a paper and pen guy, or your phone? How do you jot down your lyrics?
Wherever, whenever. I might write on my shirt if I have to. I'll write on your back if I have to. But whatever I have, sometimes stuff comes out sporadically, and you just gotta let it come out. And whatever I can get my hands on, a sticky note, I'll jot it and put it somewhere, because a lot of the verses, even with Tapped In, the second verse was really for somebody's song that's out of California. And I just didn't get to make it to the song. And then as I'm recording Tapped In, I thought it was actually would go good with the record I did. And,
that's dope.
Sometimes you got to, mix the pot a little bit.
Right. You do. You definitely do. So besides you being a rapper, like what else are you interested in doing?
Well, Right now,
Talents.
other than the music, I'm about to start a nonprofit organization. I'm still working out the names and the kinks, but I was a foster care child myself. I emancipated from foster care, and I believe that teenagers like age 16 to 19, they don't get a lot of guidance on what to do after. And most of the time they're in these situations due to not having family or coming from a drug-stricken housing. Right. So I want to do something to give back and show them that, you're not by yourself and that you can make it. You can become a person like me. You don't have to be a rapper. You can be a doctor. You can be whatever. But I want to be able to shed light on these individuals and bring substance and help to them. So that's one of the main things outside of music that I am working on that I'm very passionate about. I kind of got the idea from K Bachi. I'm not sure if you remember or know who he is, but he has a thing called Party with a Purpose. And it just, I kind of took from that and was like, let me give some purpose back to people that come from where I come from. Right. So yeah, you'll be hearing a lot about the nonprofit.
That's dope. That's really cool. I can't wait to hear about that. Definitely. So do you remember the time that you realized that music was what you wanted to do and what you loved? You remember that moment?
Yeah, I actually do. I was in Tuskegee, Alabama. I was in like a rap group that wasn't an official rap group. Okay. Don't laugh, but it was called TMS. We called ourselves Too Much Swag.
What was the name?
TMS, Too Much Swag.
Okay.
I had a mohawk, you know what I'm saying? We had created a song called Bedrock, right? And we had started doing shows. We was going through Montgomery. We was doing all kind of stuff. And unfortunately, I got in some trouble and kind of stopped doing music. And I get a call from my brother one day. And it's like, he's like, oh my God, you're on. I hear your song on the radio. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And Young Money drops a record called Bedrock. Has the same melody, like the hook, everything. And it was just like one of those moments like, wow, like, to even know, and I'm not saying they stole it from me or they got it from me, but to know that I was creating something that was at a level that people that that admire looked up to and that make millions off of. I felt like, even my brothers, my mom, they're like, hey, you have something. You have a gift and you need to continue to do it. So that was that moment.
That was your moment.
Wow. Yeah. Cause everyone felt like I was on. I was like fake famous because I had nothing to do with Young Money, but everyone knew my song. So they're like, no, that has to be you. Like, we know you this song. That was the moment. Yeah. Pretty crazy, right?
That's
I probably should have sued him.
Listen, you should have. But that was your moment. That made you realize, hey, I have something. So, some things just go differently in life. So that, it worked out at least, for you to continue to do.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still here. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was in me. So, it's something that, it's evident. It's going to happen regardless. Right. I'm a believer. Yep.
Most definitely. So speaking of music, do you have anything dropping soon, like EPs or albums you want to tell people?
Actually, I do. Okay. I'm working on a solo project, but I also have a project coming out. It's an EP called Kewl and Maker. And I'm not sure if you've seen it in the bio, but it's a song that we did release called On Me.
On Me, yeah.
That's doing really, really well. I think we're at like 37,000 views right now on YouTube. And it's been phenomenal. One of the reasons why the momentum for Tapped In has been the way it is. But yeah, we're going to do a whole EP. We got a song called Freaky coming out, and it is bananas. I mean, you're going to go crazy when you see this video. It's next level. I don't want to give away all the details, but yeah, this Kewl and Maker project is going to be classy. It's going to be Black excellence at the top of its game. So definitely get ready for it.
I can't wait. Definitely can't wait to hear and see the video. Most definitely.
Yeah, shout out to Maker, man. Shout out to Maker.
Yes. So before you go, because I feel like I can talk to you all day. But
I'm sorry.
I know I love the vibes right now. I love the energy. So, but before you go, I do want you to also shout out or mention your social media so people can catch up. And if they don't know the records you got out now, they can listen to them and videos and everything. Let them know.
All right. Well, listen, you are tapped in with Mr. Tapped In himself. And you can follow me on Instagram at Kewl Cali. That is spelled KEWLCALI. Make sure you go to YouTube and check out the video for Tapped In. It's beautiful. I have a beautiful leading lady, and it's just classy, Black excellence. So, get on board and get ready for the new stuff dropping. Again, it's Kewl Cali on IG.
Yeah.
Also like that on YouTube as well.
Okay, cool. So do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Shout out the Most High. Shout out you, Ms. Streetz. I appreciate you having me. And, just shout out the universe, shout out the people, shout out everyone grinding, shout out the go-getters, shout out the janitors, you know what I mean? Shout out the people from the bottom. That's where I come from. So This is for you.
Yes, yes. So Kewl, once again, thank you for listening and being with us today on Highly Respected. Make sure y'all go download that record, Tapped In, and also on me as well. Kewl, thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Streetz. You have a good one.
You
Peace.
too.